What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight! Okay. Is this a band? I'm assuming it's a band. Making their debut on the channel tonight. We have Death. Yes, indeed. How about that? Death making their debut on the channel.
You might be a king or a little street sweeper, but sooner or later you dance with the Reaper.
Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi bob, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Ben Guevara, and Ben wanted to see me react to this song by Death called Nothing Is Everything.
Nothing means nothing.
Nothing means nothing. What do you mean by that?
Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a minute, hold on, I've heard this before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Death Topic, okay? And the video has 97,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Nothing is everything. Cool. I'm assuming this is the it says Death. I think it says Death. Yeah, it says Death. Look, this is the link that was given to me by Ben. So if this isn't the right spot, don't blame me, okay? Blame Ben for that. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Snare places that throw me off.
Look deep into their eyes. Oh, what they have to say. Emotions take control of life every day.
the play with the play with time is being very well done. Right now we're in 6. That feels good. Prior to that, we were in 4. It was throwing me off. It was the only reason it was throwing me off a little bit was because of the snare placement. It was the second snare hit. It was just like I can't even say it was happy. It was like a quarter of a beat, like a 16th note late, and but it's not a mistake. It's being done intentionally like that, and it was kind of making me go, "Wait a minute, is this 4/4?" Because the snare isn't exactly on 3. It's like 3 1/4. No, but it was 4/4. It was absolutely 4/4. And the reason I know that is because it was consistent every time. It wasn't the first. The first snare hit was right on. It was the second snare hit that was just a quarter, and it was every single time. So I had to kind of block the snare out and focus on the hi-hat and focus on the kick. And they were in 4 the whole time. We were in 4. Switching to the 6, I believe we're in 6/4. Felt good. No issue there. I like what's happening rhythmically. I like what's happening with the play with time signature. I'm not super thrilled what's happening instrumentally. Don't get me wrong. Instrumentally, the guitar player and the bass player are both doing a fine job. They know how to play. Clearly, they know how to play. In particular, I'm really impressed with the bass player. Really moving around well. I wonder if he's jazz trained, because he's not just playing melodically impressive. His attacks, his approach on how he plays the note, very jazz oriented. It doesn't even sound like he's playing with a pick. It's very soft on the attacks when he goes up melodically. I like it. I like what's happening. My only gripe is as a direct result of the bass player going up and the guitar player. Okay, so you have the guitar player melodically, you got the bass player playing counter melodically, and the body, the fullness of the song just completely drops out. It gets really hollow when both of them are playing melodically and counter melodically. Yeah, the bottom just completely drops out and it gets really, really thin. There's only so much the drummer can do, and there's only so much the vocalist can do. Because the vocalist is also, he's not really singing melodically, he's doing grit and growl. Pure grit and growl, by the way. No subharmonics, no sub-melodics underneath that at all. It's pure grit and growl. It gets super thin, and it really leaves you wanting. You know what I mean? It really does, and it's kind of hard, man. It's kind of hard to listen to when it gets that thin. When they're playing chords, like when the guitar and the bass are down and they're filling out the sound, it sounds good. It does, but when they both start playing together in the melodic and counter melodic ranges, it gets hard to listen to. Anyway, let's keep going here. See, right here is fine. Yeah, I like this. It's full sounding, it's good. And now they're splitting and doubling. Back to 4/4. It's the third snare hit. See, right here it gets thin. Look into their eyes. For what they have to say. Emotions take control. ending on 6. Okay. It's not bad. It's not bad. I know everybody's wondering, but a lot of people are going, oh, DH is going to hate this. No, I don't hate it. And I don't even dislike it. It's not bad. I just got to kind of weigh everything a little bit against itself. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Death with Nothing Is Everything. This was a request from Ben Guevara. Okay, I thought about it, and believe it or not, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. So we shouldn't be here for too long. So I'm gonna try not to be here for like 15 minutes. We should be able to be under 10. So let's see if I can make that happen. Let's start off with the score, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that, believe it or not, I'm going to give that a 7.2. Yep, 7.2. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 7.2. What does that mean? Well, a 7.2 is a really good scale rating. Okay, so it's getting a really good score. It would get 4 out of 5 stars, and it would get a B letter grade. So 7.2, really good scale rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. There you go. And they all mean the same thing. Now, how did I come to this score? So glad you asked. There were some really interesting things happening within the song. The thing that stands out to me the most was, well, there's two things that really stood out to me more than anything else. The usage of time signature, switching between 4 and 6, 4 and 6, 4 and 6. Now, here's the thing. The song is what, 3 minutes and 14 seconds, I think it was, 3:16 or something like that. It's a short song, okay? And they switched between 4 and 6. 4 to 6, back to 4, back to 6. So a grand total of 3 time signature switches total. 4 to 6 to 4 to 6. They ended in 6. In a 3-minute song. Now here's the thing. I've been very critical of bands in the past who switch time signature too rapidly. Okay, this was not too rapidly. They when they started out, they went for a good 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Something like that, 45 seconds before they switched to 6, okay? And when they did go from 6 back to 4, again, they spent a good 30 to 40 seconds there, reestablishing the groove, giving everybody a chance to find it, and giving everybody a chance to acclimate to it, and giving everybody a chance to, feel it and really dive into it. I appreciate that. I do. I got no problem with that. As a matter of fact, I applaud it because it shows that they don't have to just stay in the same time signature for the entire song. It shows some complexity. It shows some thought, and I appreciate that. And I also appreciate the fact that they didn't switch too rapidly because that just annoys the hell out of me. It's at that point they're sacrificing, the feel of the song for complex songwriting. And I've always been opposed to that. Always. Unless you can make it work somehow. I mean, I've seen bands do complexity with, changing like every 2 measures, but there's a pattern. There's an established pattern. Like, they'll do 4/4, and they'll do another measure of 4. Like, Tool's a perfect example. Tool's a great example. They'll do like a measure of 5/8 and a measure of 6/8, or 3/8, and then they'll do a measure of 5/8 and 3/8, 5/8, 3/8. They're literally changing every measure to 2 measures, but there's a pattern, and it repeats itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's fine, because the pattern's been established. I hate it when bands have rapid time signature changes and there's no pattern. They are just completely random, and that just annoys me to no end. That did not happen here. They stayed for a while, and then after everybody had a chance to get into it, then they would switch. No problem, no issue. I think that's really nice. The other big factor for me was the bass playing. The bass playing sounded really nice. I am wondering, and if anybody knows for sure, like is 100% sure about this, I get the feeling that this bass player was jazz trained. Something tells me he was. The way that he was playing, number one, it didn't sound like he was playing with a pick. It sounded like he was playing with fingers. Number two, when he would come up on the neck and he was playing the counter melodic line to what the guitar player was doing, his approach, it wasn't what he was playing. It wasn't the notes that he was playing. It was how he was approaching the note and how he was executing each note. Really felt jazz to me. Now, I don't know if he was jazz trained or not. If anybody in the comments knows for a fact whether or not he was jazz trained, let me know if I'm right about this, because I'm really curious. I have a feeling he was. Very tasteful playing from him on those kind of melodic lines. I dug it. I really dug it. And when he would come back down to fill out the bottom end, it sounded just fine too. The guitar playing. When the guitar was down, playing the chords and helping to fill out the sound, I liked it. When the guitar player would go up and they would split the guitar and they would double the guitar in the recording, and you still had the guitar playing the chords while the guitar was also playing up and playing the main melodic line. I had no problem with that either. That sounded fine. When there was nothing in the bottom end, there was no chords being played, and the bass player and the guitar player were up, and the guitar player playing the melodic line and the bass player playing the counter melodic line, and it got really empty, that I was not a fan of. I'm not saying it became painful to listen to, but it was not easy to listen to that. It was missing its bottom end. It was missing its girth. It was missing its body. It was missing the bottom end, and it just sounded hollow and empty, and I was not a fan of that. The other thing I really wasn't a big fan of was the vocals. Now, listen, he did a fine job with the grit and growl. He did, okay? Pure grit and growl. There was no melodics in that, or sub-melodics or sub-harmonics in those vocals at all. Pure grit and growl. I've never been a fan of it. I will fully acknowledge that he did a fine job of it. It sounded great. It sounded, from a pure grit and growl standpoint, he obviously knows how to do it right. He knows the right techniques. It doesn't sound like he's doing anything wrong as far as, taking a chance on blowing his vocals out. It sounded just fine, but I'm sorry. I find it impressive that he's using proper technique, yes, but if you're asking me were his vocals impressive, no, just not my thing, man. There really wasn't anything impressive about it, other than the fact that he was using proper technique, which, as a vocalist, if you're gonna do pure grit and growl, you better be doing. Otherwise, you're gonna have a very short vocal career. The biggest things for me, like I said, the bass playing and the songwriting from the usage of time signature standpoint. That sounded fine to me. The fact that it was a shorter song didn't hurt. It really didn't hurt. It was, I think it could have gone on a little longer, like maybe another, 15, 20 seconds, and I think it would have been okay. But I appreciate the fact that they came in, they did what they had to do, and they got out. I got no issue with that. I got no problem with that at all. So overall, taking everything into account, I think they did a really good job. I do. I'm not going to sit here and say I was blown away by it or I was impressed by it, because I wasn't. There were some things I found that were, better than the average. Absolutely. Like I said, the bass playing and the usage of time signature, I think those were, a fine job. But overall, I just think the song as a whole, it's a really good song. So, yeah, I feel good about that 7.2. It's a really good song, and that is where we're going to stay. So let's wrap this up in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got 7.2, really good scale rating, 4 out of 5 stars, and a B letter grade. Take your pick. I don't care. Whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hopefully you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.